Hi ladies, I'm Tracy Lynn Doherty. My goal is to equip and encourage, excuse me just a moment. Oh. Hi God, I'm doing great. How are you? Oh, you want me to go over there? Well, of course I want to do what you've asked me to do. I love you too. Tell Jesus I said hello. Don't we wish it was like that? That we would receive a call on our cell phone or an email on our laptop? Many times we do receive a call from God to serve over there or to change something about our lives. Of course we want to answer God's call, right? But what keeps us from moving? What barriers or obstacles keep us from leaving our comfort zone? Number one, fear. Because the thing is, God has a habit of asking people to do things that are scary. The first thing about fear, fear of failure. Numbers 13, 31 through 33. They are finally at the promised land, ready to enter it after leaving the bondage of Egypt. And the scouts come back with this report. Verse 31. We can't attack those people. They're stronger than we are. And they spread among the Israelites a bad report about the land they had explored. They said, the land we explored devours those living in it. All the people there are great size. We seem like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and we looked the same to them. When we're afraid, our imaginations explode. You were made for something more than merely avoiding failure. Beth Moore says this: proper fear of God cures us of improper fear of man and circumstances. Another fear that we allow to stop us from answering the call from God, the fear of inadequacy. She could do it so much better. I'm not as good as she is. Comparison. That's like if all three of these cups, whose purpose is to quench the thirst of people, decided to compare themselves. I wish I was pink like that, and look at those curves. It's not fair. She has a handle, and she can serve hot and cold drinks. What about her? She's brand new, never been used. She doesn't have a past. What if people find out about my past? In the meantime, while they're so busy comparing themselves, they're not doing what they were called to do, and people are dying of thirst. Fear makes people bury the talents that God has given them. Stop focusing on what others can do. Focus on what God can do. And guess what? He can do anything, and He just might use you to do it. Don't wait for fear to go away. The second thing that keeps us from answering the call of God, people. Matthew 16:21 through 23. From that time on, Jesus began to explain to His disciples that He must go to Jerusalem and suffer many things at the hands of the elders, chief priests, and teachers of the law, and that He must be killed and on the third day be raised to life. Peter took Him aside and began to rebuke Him. Never, Lord, he said. This shall never happen to you. Jesus turned and said to Peter, Get behind me, Satan. You are a stumbling block to me. You do not have in mind the things of God, but the things of men. Peter tried to get in the way of Jesus' calling. His disciples could have also said, Haven't you done enough? You've been healing people, performing miracles, preaching. You've done enough, Jesus. Another way people get in the way of answering the call, Galatians 1:10. Am I now trying to win the approval of men or of God? Or am I trying to please men? If I were still trying to please men, I would not be a servant of Christ. Sometimes we get caught up in trying to please people. We won't answer the call of God because someone has told us we shouldn't. Or we get distracted by doing something else that someone has told us we should be doing. Another way people can be an obstacle is we want a thank you from people. What if nobody notices my service? Oswald Chambers says this: if we are devoted to the cause of humanity, we shall soon be crushed and broken-hearted, for we shall often meet with more ingratitude from men than we would from a dog. But if our motive is love to God, no ingratitude can hinder us from serving our fellow man. Did Jesus serve us for our thank you? No, He serves us because He loves us. The third thing that keeps us from answering God's call to get out of our comfort zone is that we're waiting for something bigger, something more special, something more spectacular. Another quote from Oswald Chambers: "Some saints cannot do menial work and remain saints because it is beneath their dignity." Guess what Jesus did? Jesus washed feet. Comfort zone. What's our comfort zone? Whatever represents safety and security to us apart from God. Whatever we are putting our trust in, we tend to seek a world of comfort. We try to construct manageable lives with some security and predictability to maintain the illusion that we are in control. Comfort keeps us from growth. We need to step out in faith. Joshua 3:15 tells us that they stepped out into the water, the Jordan River, and then the water stopped. Israelites had to step out of the tent to get to the manna, to go with God's plan. So first, there is a decision. You must decide. You must choose to say yes. Second, there is a reassurance. God promises His presence. And third, there's a changed life. He can take whatever you have to offer and make a difference that matters for eternity. You are on a mission from God. You are the salt of the earth. You are the light of the world. I ask you, what is God calling you to do? Most likely it won't be a phone call, but maybe a movement in your spirit through the Holy Spirit. God has plans for you. He wants you to trust Him more. Expand your faith to know that He is mighty. It's not about you. The Lord wants to take you to places you've never been. Get out of your comfort zone. The greatest reward? One day, you will stand before God and hear Him say, "Well done, good and faithful servant." I would love to hear from you. In the comments below, tell me, what do you feel like God is calling you to do? What's keeping you from answering yes, from leaving your comfort zone? If you would like to receive our free weekly videos, go to our website, equipandencouragewomen.com/subscribe. If you subscribe, you'll also receive our free bonus video, Living Your Priorities. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. All my best to you.